Now, as I was talking about the concept of text in stylistics, so text refers to any entity. Now, we would try to confine our concept of text to literature. Now, in this context, you can say literature is a type of text. So, literature is text. Now, in stylistic, you would study and analyze text. By study is simpler, you would have a knowledge or science of the text. You would know text and you would know its different features, characteristics, and types. So, this is called study. And an analysis, you would break down, you would divide the text in its two components and elements in order to show its elements and relationship between or among its different entities involved in the text. Now, this was the concept analysis. In stylistic, you would study the text and its analysis. Now, these are the the key terms involved in the definition. That is to say, literature and linguistics, study of text, analysis of text. That I also explained to you people. Now, moving toward another definition of stylistics. Now, according to Peterberry and beginning theory, now Peterberry is considered to be the very famous author in criticism, and he has written a book called Beginning Theory, in which he has given many approaches, methods, and techniques for the evaluation and interpretation of literature and literary criticism. So he is famous for these kinds of stuffs for the analysis of literature. And one of the chapters given to the study of stylistic by the name Stylistic Theory and Practice. So he defines stylistics as a critical approach which uses the methods and findings of the science of linguistics and analysis of literary text. Now, this definition is similar to the definition that was given by Michael Burke, in which he says that stylistics is a literary linguistic in which we deal with the study and analysis of text. So, this definition is similar to that one. Now, in this definition given by Peterberry, he defines stylistic as a critical approach. Now, Michael Burke considered it as a method. Now, Peterberry considered it as a critical approach. By critical approach, we mean that it is a way. Approach refers to a way or a set of assumptions or set of theories, a set of techniques, and based on criticism. By critical, we mean when we evaluate both aspects of something, like negative and positive, but it is not simply that one that we evaluate both aspects. Critical refers to paying attention to all of the aspect of something. When you are critical of something, you pay attention to all of the aspects, perspectives, or points of view of something involved. Now, stylistic is a critical approach which uses the methods and findings of the science of linguistics in the analysis of literary text. Now, in stylistic, we actually use the knowledge, the science, the findings, and methods of linguistics in analysis of literary text. I can simply define this definition and these words that stylistics is an approach and a critical approach which uses linguistics for the sake of literature. Now, there are two things involved, linguistics and literature. You take linguistics for the interpretation of literature. Literature is the object, the contents, the population, you can say, and linguistics is the tool, it is the instrument through which you interpret, evaluate, or judge literature. So, linguistic is used in stylistic for the interpretation of literature. And this is the simple approach or concept of stylistic given by Peterberry. Now, there are certain components or keywords involved in this definition. The first one is critical approach. The second one is methods and findings of linguistics, and third one is analysis of literary text. So the first one is critical approach, which I also wrote, you know, at the bottom of this slide, that critical approach refers to a way based on criticism. Now, in stylistic, you would critically analyze a text. By critically analyze, I mean you would pay attention to the different aspects, perspectives, points of view of the text being studied or analyzed. Methods and findings of linguistics, as I have told you, that linguistics and its knowledge are used in stylistic for the interpretation and evaluation of literature. So methods and findings of linguistics are phonological, syntactic, semantic, pragmatic, sociocultural, psycholinguistic aspect of the text, computational aspect of the text, anthropological aspects. So these are different, methods or findings of linguistic. You can interpret a text from phonological perspective, from syntactic perspective. Syntax is much more involved in this field. Semantic perspective, meaning you can also analyze and interpret the text from the semantic perspective, in which you would give much attention to the meaning and sense of the text involved, and analysis of text. So, in simple words, you can say that according to Peterberry, stylistics is a critical approach in which linguistics is taken as an instrument for the interpretation of literature. So, this was the definition of Peterberry for stylistics. Now, this is the definition which I have concluded from all of the definition I have studied. Now, this is a stipulative personal definition of stylistics. Now, stylistic is a branch of linguistics acting as a research tool in the interpretation and evaluation of text and its modality, giving overriding accent to language, signs, and symbols used for the communication in a particular discourse community. Now, this is an integrated definition of stylistic in which I have touched upon different aspects of the stylistic given by different theorists of stylistics. Now, as I told you different definitions of stylistic, in which you know each and every theorist of stylistic gives his own perspective on stylistics. Now, in this definition, I have integrated or combined all of the perspectives of these people. So, stylistic is a branch of linguistic. Now, it is a branch of linguistic. It is one of the areas of linguistic, acting as a research tool in the interpretation evaluation of text. When you want to conduct research in literature, you can take stylistic as a tool for your research. You can take it as an instrument for your research. So, stylistic is a tool for the evaluation and interpretation of literature and of text and its modality. Now, text, I explained to you people. Now, modality is an information perceived through one sense, one definition of modality, or your faculty of the senses. Suppose sight, your is one modality, hearing is another modality, taste is another modality. Similarly, touching ability modality, or touching faculty, or ability of person is another modality. So modality is the faculty of your sense, so it is also involved in stylistic. Actually, one of the approaches of stylistic is multimodality, in which we would deal with different aspects of modality like hearing, tastes, and touching, etc. Now, in this kind of the area of study, much emphasis is given to language. You would pay attention to language, signs, and symbols of text involved, and these signs and symbols are used for communication, for interaction in a particular discourse community. By discourse community, I mean any community in which the language is used for communication. Like Pashto is used in Pashto community. So Pashtun community is a discourse community for Pashto language. So this was, I can say, an integrated